We might know the great goodness of living in hope and peace in this world, beginning in our own lives, in our families, in our community, in our nation, in our world. Thank you, Father, for the gift of Christmas, for the gift of your Son. May we celebrate that message each and every day, and bless this evening, bless this council, the mayor and the council, that they do the work you've called them to do. Be with them and surround them with your presence and your power, that they might raise up a community that serves you and is a benefit to all who come among us. In your name we pray, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Simonson. Appreciate it. With that, we'd like to move to the roll call, please.
Here.
Councilmember Chapados. Councilwoman Gussie. Councilmember Kimball. Councilmember Potter. Vice Mayor Farrell. Mayor Price.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We're moving on to item 3, proclamations, acknowledgments, and awards. Before we actually get there, though, I just wanted to give a great big thank you and a big round of applause to all the city staff and council members and everybody who's helped make this building such a beautiful place. For those of you watching at home, if you haven't seen it, you really need to take some time in this month to come down here. With all the poinsettias and decorations, it is an absolute beautiful place. So I'd like to give everybody a big round of applause. Thank you. With that, I wanted to take just a few minutes and invite Latricia to come up, please. Well, we have some bad news. Latricia has decided to actually start her own business. And so she will be leaving us, and this is her last meeting with us here tonight. And so we wanted to thank her for that. And so we wanted to give her a little thank you, an award from the City Council and on behalf of the City of Maricopa. And so I would like to come down there and present it to you.
Or I can come up the arc of poinsettias.
So here's your little award, and it says, from the City of Maricopa, presented to Latricia Woods with sincere appreciation for your professionalism, dedication, and excellent service. Thank you for helping to ensure Maricopa's legacy of a proud history and a prosperous future. Latricia, thank you. Council, would like to come down and get a picture of Latricia? That would be wonderful.
I can't take it. I have a camera.
Where's your camera? What are we going to do with that?
Oh yeah, ribbon out of the good.
That's right. Keep going. Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're gonna miss that.
Don't cry, please don't cry.
Okay. Councilman Chapados, did you have something you wanted to add there? Okay, we'll move on to item 4, report from the mayor. At this time, wanted to just give a shout out and a thanks to Miss Maricopa. If you didn't get a chance to meet her tonight, Sydney, she's done a great job since being crowned, and we're thankful for her being here at this event tonight. With that, I have no other items to report at this time, so I'll turn it over to Councilman Chapas. Yes, I know, it's amazing.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to give a special thank you to members of the Maricopa Chorus for being here tonight and making this event so special. Also to our fire union and firefighters who are doing a toy drive, and also to our 4R City group who is doing the Shop with a Cop. I think we're going to be hearing some good news about that a little bit later in the meeting. And also thanks to all of you, our citizens who came out to celebrate our first big official Christmas in our new City Hall. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Anything else? Okay. At this time, I'd like to move to the report from the city manager. Tricia?
Mayor and Council, I'd like to echo your thanks to the staff, and I'd like to kind of call out some of them that spent about 4.5 hours Saturday decorating the lobby. So when you hear your name, if you're here, stand up. Jennifer Campbell, she and her husband were here. I don't know if Audra's here. Audra and her boyfriend were here. And then Brenda Campbell, you want to stand up? Rudy from Development Services, is Rudy still here? And then Councilmember Chapados was here, I was here, and then I'd also like to thank Jackie and Kathy for helping out as well. So let's give them a big round of applause. We won't go into how we got those ornaments at the top of the tree. I'd like to turn this over now to Jennifer. She has an announcement to Nate.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Well, since we are all festive tonight, I wanted to remind everyone that we also have festivities going on in the community. We have our holiday homes and businesses on parade. It's once again time to make Maricopa shine, and it's the 9th annual Holiday Homes and Businesses on Parade, and it kicks off on Monday, December 9th. We currently have 27 homes and 4 businesses that will be adorned with lights and holiday decor in hopes of being one of the top winners in these 5 categories. We have Best Light Show, Best Use of Color, Best Theme, Best on Parade, and Resident's Choice. Judging takes place from December 19th through December 18th, and all residents are encouraged to tour the entries and vote for their favorites. Winners will be announced on December 19th. The entry map and the voting information will be available on the city's website on the community services page. So we encourage all of our citizens to go out and look at some of the wonderful homes and businesses that our Maricopa residents have provided and spread a little cheer through this season. So thank you.
Mayor and Council, just one more thing. I'd like to turn it over to Paul to make an introduction.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, I'd like to introduce the newest member to our staff here in Maricopa. I'd like to ask Jean Martel to stand. Jean, are you out there? Behind. Jean is our new interim CIO, Chief Information Officer, for the city. He's filling in until we fill the long-term position. But we'd like to welcome him aboard. He comes to us with 33 years experience, most recently in Town of Oro Valley, and if you see him, say hello, and Gene, we welcome you to Maricopa.
That concludes my report, Mr. Mayor.
Approach the dais here and feel free to share some of your thoughts or opinions. We'd be welcome to hear that. Just please be aware that the council does not typically respond in that time, and we ask you to limit your comments to 2 or 3 minutes, and we appreciate it. At this time, you may come forward. Oh,
Okay.
you can bring up the speaker card. If that's
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this. You're welcome to speak at call to public, but if you'd like to speak specifically to the item during the public hearing, which will be in all of 10 minutes, you can do that as well, or you can do both. It's up to you.
I'll wait till the
Perfect.
till the agenda. Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, all our esteemed guests tonight. My name is Eric Latch. I am Director for our City Maricopa, and I just want to give an update on where we stand with our Shop with a Cop program. As of this point, our original goal was to take, this year was to take 35 kids on a shopping excursion with local officers and give them a great holiday shopping experience. We had a goal of $6,000 and 35 kids. I'm going to kind of say we shattered that goal. We're going to be taking 49 kids, and we've raised, as of today, $10,319. Wow,
That's great.
And I want to say this goes to the city of Maricopa. This is through donations. This is tip a cop events we've had. This past Saturday we had just a kind of a shop with a cop event that included shopping local at Honeycut Coffee. We did raffles for both Honeycut Coffee gift cards and Papa Murphy's pizzas. And Maricopa Inc., which is a local home-based business, donated T-shirts for all the kids there. Just a fun event. That event alone raised another $504 for this event. I do know that we are going to, on December 14th, when they do the Shop with a Cop event, it starts at 7 a.m. We're going to need some volunteers to help out. This is just going to be such a great event for the community. Some of the things that are going on is as far as I know, the kids and the officers are going to be given breakfast by McDonald's inside Walmart. Walmart is working on doing stockings for all 49 kids. We've actually got T-shirts that we're doing for the kids and everything. And we're going to need some volunteers to help out with everything from wrapping to even helping the officers as they're going around with these kids. So if anybody is interested, they can contact me via email at eric@hometownbuzzservices.com, or they can send me a message on Facebook through our For Our City Maricopa Facebook page. And we'll take all the help we can get on that. But I do want to say that this is a great city that we live in when you can bring a program like this, and this is only the second year we've done it, and we shattered our goals. And all I can say is I'm looking forward to it because it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Alma.
Hello, Mayor and council members. My name is Alma Farrell. I just wanted to update you since we're talking about Christmas and children and needs. I'd like to tell you that the Rotary Club, through fundraisers that we have 2,305 toys that we are distributing for Christmas for children in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mayor and Council, I'd like to announce Fire Department's first annual toy drive will be December 14th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. You can bring a toy and ride in a truck. So bring your kids, your grandkids, anybody that wants to ride in a fire truck, we'll get them on there that day. We're benefiting the community. A lot of toys will be given to the community, and we'll enjoy this very much.
Lonnie, where was it being held again?
Pecana Park.
Pecana Park, 9 to 1. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Pecana. Okay. Not seeing anybody else, we will go ahead and move to the minutes. That's item 7.1 and 7.2. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. At this time, we're going to move on to Section 8, and we're going to do public hearings. The way the public hearings work is I will open and close each particular hearing, 8.1 and 8.2. Joanne, I'll call you up here on 8.2, and you can come and speak to that. At this time, again, the item is to be discussed is 8.1. The Mayor and City Council shall hear public comment on the conditional use permit, which is 13-02, a request by Pinnacle Consulting on behalf of T-Mobile West LLC, proposes to replace existing antennas on a pre-existing tower that is owned and operated by New Towers LLC. The site is located at the property address of 45-330 West McDavid Road. If you'd like to come and address the council on this item only, you may do so this time. Seeing no one, I will close the public hearing on 8.1. At this time, we're going to hear a public hearing on 8.2. We do have a speaker card on this, but the Mayor and City Council shall hear public comment on Planned Area Development Amendment, or PAD 13-02, a request by LVA Urban Design Studios LLC on behalf of Elliott Homes to amend zoning standards for Units 1, 3, and 4 of the existing PAD, case number Zone 05-03 Santa Rosa Springs Planned Area Development. This development is located at southwest corner of Maricopa, Casa Grande Highway, and Porter Road. If you'd like to address the council on this item, you may do so, but I'd like to call up Joanne first, who has filled out a speaker card. Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Joanne Miller, and I am a resident of Santa Rosa Springs. The issue that they are coming forth with today is to allow homes to be built on the properties. Right now, the ordinance that is in place is 40%. A building can be no more than 40%. They want to raise that to 55%. Although personally, I don't like the idea of having big homes, small lots. Looks not what I intended when I moved into this area. That isn't my total concern. My concern is Elliott Homes is planning on building up to 500 homes in what is it, 1, 3, and 4, or something, 1, 2, and 4, whatever it is. 4 is across the wash off of Farrell. We have one entrance into Santa Rosa Springs. One entrance in, one entrance out. When you go out to the left is the railroad tracks, and everybody knows the problems with the railroad. To the right is the wash. When the wash is running, obviously that road is closed. Your only option is to go out that way. The other day when the wash was closed, I waited 25 minutes because the train, it was a total of 3 trains, one stopped, could not get in. If there had been an emergency, no emergency vehicles could have also gotten in. If they don't address a second entrance, I've been told that the second entrance, when Unit 4 is developed, will go through the wash. I don't believe that the city should allow or could allow a road to go through the wash. The complaints we've had is with Elliott Homes. It has also been with our HOA, which is also Elliott Homes. We don't have enough houses out there to own our own, so it is controlled by Elliott Homes. Until they wanted to start building, they didn't want to hear from the current residents of the properties. Now that they want to build, they want to hear from us, but it'll be tomorrow after the council meeting has already voted on this ordinance. And I just think that it behooves the city to look into and address before any new building starts in, putting 500 homes in there when you have school buses coming in and out of there, and the rash of traffic. Porter never used to have any traffic, and it does now. Farrell, because of so much traffic, is deteriorating faster than intended, because there's a lot more trucks also using that. It was never intended for heavy traffic. So my request is, because of current residents, I have nothing against building. I think it's great. It will help the city out tremendously. But if you don't pay attention to the people that already live here, what good is bringing in new people? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joanne. Anyone else wish to address this item? Council, I know it is on the agenda a little bit later, so if you have questions on that, I think that's the appropriate time to hit them. So I don't see anyone else that wishes to address this item at this time, so we'll go ahead and close the public hearing on this. Thank you very much, Joanne, excuse me. At this time, move to the consent agenda. I wanted to turn the time over to Vice Mayor Farrell before I ask for approval on this.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to request a pull agenda item 9.10.
Okay, to pull item 910. Okay, so that'll be the first item on the regular agenda. 9.10. Okay. Item 9.10 has been pulled, so the consent agenda is everything but that item at the moment. Can I have a motion to approve, please? Oh, excuse me. Oh, and I apologize, yes. We do have a change, as I mentioned in the work session, on 9/11. That is a consent change based on the fact that if you read 9/11, it says the information is coming from the Planning and Zoning Professional Services Fund, and the fund number is next to it. That is actually incorrect. It needs to come out of the City Manager's Fund. And so that is the item on there. That's the only change on that. And so there's, of course, an appropriate number that goes with that as well. So those are the two changes to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve, please?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent items minus 9.10 and with the amendment to 9.11.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second? Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much. That moves us to the regular agenda, and the first item on the docket is 9.10. Vice Mayor Farrell.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself due to a conflict.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a recusal. Council, is there any discussion on the item? Have a motion and a second with a motion to approve. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Vice Mayor. Moving on to item 10.1. This is an ordinance. In Ordinance 13-15 of the Mayor and City Council, City of Maricopa, Arizona, amending the zoning requirements of parcels 1, 3, and 4 described in zoning case zoning 05-03 Santa Rosa Springs Planned Development Area for approximately 166 acres, generally situated on the south of Maricopa-Casa Grande Highway, State Route 238, west of Porter, east of Smith, alignment north of West Farrell, within the City of Maricopa Incorporated limits. Parcels of land are situated in a portion of Section 35 of Township 4 South, Range 3 East of the Gila and Salt River Base and Meridian, Pinal County, Arizona. This is for discussion and action. Rudy.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. For your review is a PAD amendment for an existing PAD that was approved in 2005 by the city, though originally in the county in 2001. This property is zoned CR3 single-family residential with a planning development overlay, situated south of Maricopa Casa Grande Highway, west of Porter Road, and north of Farrell Road. This amendment entails a lot coverage increase from zoning-based standard of 40% to 45%, and additional 10% bonus coverage for exceptional design features. So in reality, it will be a total of 55% lot coverage increase, or 15% above our current base standards. This increase will encompass for parcels 1, 3, and 4 Santa Rosa Springs. This case was heard by the Planning and Zoning Commission on November 12th, which received a recommendation of approval. Lastly, Exhibit B in your council packet is a stipulation document that was amended to alleviate some concerns of future congestion on Iron Point and Porter Road. If you look to the amended document, I think we print out copies for you guys. Stipulation number 10 reads as follows. Future signalization at Porter Road and Iron Point intersection should be stipulated at a level appropriate to the development impact on the system, but shall not exceed 40% of design and construction costs. Alternatively, all remaining lots within Santa Rosa Springs, parcels 1 through 4, may pay $150 on a permit-by-permit occurrence to city for its proportionate share of future signalization of that intersection of Porter Road and Iron Point. Staff recommends that the Mayor and City Council consider Planning Development Amendment 1302 Santa Rosa Springs for approval as recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission. Regarding the concerns that was brought up during the public hearing on the one entrance for units 1, 2, and 3, currently that was an issue when it was platted. Going over the history of the case, there is a secondary access which you may want to point it's a fire. It's just above this area right here from Porter Road. That was required from the city to provide a secondary emergency access. I'll do this one more time. It's right over from this parcel to this road here. This is the main entrance. So as part of the platting process for 1, 2, and 3, that was the requirement from the city at the time to request a secondary alternative emergency access only. So there was concerns back then about the one point of access without having this Unit 4 being built. Regarding the wash concern of how passing through the wash when Unit 4 is developed, that it's a low water or road crossing, that's not the same type of standard that we're going to see at Rancho Dorado, which is at grade of the wash level. This is actually going to be a little bit higher than the grade, so there will be road crossing, but it's just a lower dip. So what I'm being told, it's a 4 to 5 foot above the wash level. So that was also a concern, or it was addressed during the platting process of Unit 4, that was recommended at the time instead of a bridge. So it was approved with that water wash crossing. So regarding the HOA concerns, all those HOA concerns are, not towards this request for lot coverage standards, which I believe the applicant and the builder is addressing through separate meetings with the residents to alleviate their concerns of other items. And so we do have the applicant here, and which is LVA Urban Design Studio, and the builder, Elliott Homes, to further, if you guys have any more questions. With that, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Rudy. Vice Mayor Farrell.
Rudy, correct me if I'm wrong, but was Unit 5, is that still plotted for a school campus?
To my knowledge, it's a donation. Correct me if I'm wrong, from the applicant. It hasn't been accepted. The school district owns it, correct me. They own the property. Yes.
Okay. And so that emergency access that you mentioned to the north of Unit 5, is that going to happen with this new development?
Well, Unit 5, that's currently built, that's currently designed to have that emergency access. That's there today.
Oh, that's
there today, yes.
That emergency access is there?
Right,
okay.
yes.
Okay.
And the applicant is going to be talking with the residents of this community tomorrow night?
Correct.
Is there any reason why the applicant hasn't addressed the community before this came to council?
I'll have to defer that to the applicant to answer that question.
Mayor, Councilman Farrell, name is Alan Bodwin, LVA Urban Design Studio, 120 South Ash Avenue in Tempe. We have addressed the community, which is customary for a legislative act such as this. We took the proposal to the community and had a neighborhood meeting. We had a full discussion and overview of the project with the community. And since that time, we've also held a meeting of the Homeowners Association with members of the community to discuss mainly their issues affiliated with the operations of the Homeowners Association. There wasn't any community comment with regards to the request at hand, and that's an increase in lot coverage at our neighborhood meeting. So we have had two such meetings, one being the required neighborhood meeting, the other being an HOA meeting, and there's a town hall tomorrow night to talk to the greater community about the other elements related to the operations of the Homeowners Association.
Vice Mayor?
Can you tell us when these neighborhood meetings took place and what kind of notices you gave to these neighborhoods about these meetings beforehand?
We sent a direct mailing to the homeowners within the community and all property owners surrounding in accordance with the standards that the city of Maricopa has. We provided that mailing approximately 10 days prior to hosting the meeting at the local elementary school.
And when did these meetings take place?
Mayor, council member, it is required with the zoning amendment that the applicant does hold neighborhood meetings. It was held on October 29th, and the sign was posted on the property 15 days prior to the neighborhood meeting. Notifications through first-class mail was sent to properties, actually to all the properties in units 1, 2, and 3. In addition, a legal notice was placed in the Maricopa Monitor 15 days prior to the neighborhood meeting, publicizing the neighborhood meeting, the planning and zoning meeting, and today's meeting.
And you do have record of all that, Rudy, to verify?
Correct. It's in your council packets. I believe it's the citizen participation plan report. So,
thank you, Rudy.
Yep.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Gussie.
Sir, before you sit down, you had mentioned that you were going to hold a meeting tomorrow? A town hall meeting tomorrow?
Yes, a town hall meeting. The purpose for that meeting is to talk about the operations of the homeowners association, not the request that you're looking at tonight.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yes, Councilman Brown.
Rudy, relative to the wash, did you say it was 45 feet above grade level?
No, let me clarify that, and let me just get you.
Rudy, would a good example be where the bridge is on White and Parker Road going through the wash?
You know, the way I read it, it's there will be 5 total 10 foot by 3 foot tall structures putting into the road grade. So it's almost like a conveyance for the water, for nuisance water. So there will be about 4 to 5 foot above the wash base, so the water could convey underneath that. At minimum, is designed to convey a majority of typical storms, but you know, it's not all type of storms like those 100-year or 200 years. But it's going to be designed way better than what we have at the Rancho Dorado development, which allows for access when there's nuisance waters conveying.
What happens if we have more than nuisance, like extraordinary storms? What would occur?
And to my knowledge, that was the approval of the plat that they, at minimum, derive any nuisance waters. Anything further, I'll have to defer to our city engineer regarding anything beyond the typical, 100 or 200-year flood, which I'm not knowledgeable of.
Is Bill here?
Through the mayor, Councilman Brown, you are correct. If we have a 100-year flood, it'll overtop this. This is a low water crossing. It'll be, and when he said 4 to 5, not 45 feet.
Okay.
But I misheard it myself, actually. Wow, that's big. So a normal rain like this last weekend will be fine. You'll have a foot of water running down, and cars will be able to go through fine. If you get to a 100-year flood, it'll actually blow this thing out altogether, probably. It'll be well above this. Somewhere in between there, you will occasionally have this thing overtopped. And I don't know what the design storm, I don't know what exactly size storm in between there. Routine rains will go underneath it, but we will have floods periodically that will overtop this low water crossing. It's designed to not stop everything. It's designed to shut down once a year or so. As a policy, the city has allowed low water crossings for non-arterial streets.
All right. Thank you.
Sorry, Councilwoman Chapados.
Bill, this may be a question for you. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know of any other communities in the city of Maricopa that only have one entrance and egress. Was this an anomaly that the county approved, or what happened with Santa Rosa Springs that they don't have a second entrance and exit?
Well, they do have 2 entrances and exits. Partly, you're right. The county did approve this when this was at the time when we were right at the border between going from being unincorporated to becoming a city. Part of this was county right-of-way at the time, and then the plat itself was within the city. The 2 entrances are the emergency, let me back up. The intent is for the 2 entrance and exits, one to be off Porter Road and one to be north-south off Farrell Road. Until that second one is complete, which it isn't now, they've put in the second, which is the emergency on a knockbox. I'm not aware of any right now. There might be. There have been others occasionally, particularly in a transient state, where they have one in and we put in a second emergency exit for a little while until the rest of the development gets completed.
Okay, and I haven't been over there in a while, but when you say emergency exit, is that open to vehicular traffic now or only in the event of an emergency?
It's on a knockbox, which is a special type of lockbox that only emergency vehicles can use. So you and I couldn't use it.
Okay, so given the circumstances that Ms. Miller explained the other day, even our emergency vehicles wouldn't have been able to get in there with the emergency access route?
No, emergency vehicles would be able to get through it. You and I would not be able to.
Even with the train in place? And
Oh,
the,
with
and
the
the
train in-
wash flooded?
No, no, you're correct. The emergency exit, entrance and exit is there. However, that is within, that is south of the railroad tracks. So if a train was stopped and the channel was flooded, both those entrance and exits as they currently exist right now would be stopped.
Does the builder or the developer have a projected timeline as to when they might get to that second exit in the development stage?
Mayor, Councilwoman, the focus right now is to try to get approvals for the coverage modification here, models under construction, units 1 and 3, working toward 80% completion, and then unit 4 would start. Our best guess with regards to the improvements in the market, we're probably looking at 2.5, possibly 3 years to get into unit 4.
Okay, but to that end, if you're going to get to unit 4, and that's 80% at that point before you start unit 4, roughly how many homes is that? And if you calculate the amount of homes, how many people is that? So if I'm looking at 10 people that live there now, 10 families, and let's say that equals 30 or 40 people, how many people is that in 2 cars per house? How many homes is that before phase 4 starts?
Units 1 through 3, when all is completed, are a little over 600 lots.
Okay, so conceptually then, you could have 400 families, 400 homes up and running with 1 entrance and 1 exit.
That is correct. When we took this through the process once before, and we looked at all these issues and designed this community, brought it to the former council, all of these issues were discussed. There are some challenges with the railroad, the angle, the Porter had to be reconstructed. You can see the new geometry that wasn't there before. This project accomplished that. The intersection with Porter and Maricopa Casa Grande Highway, this project completed that with regards to its new operations. Yes, this property has some tremendous challenges. The emergency access was provided previously to accommodate those challenges. Additionally, formally, this developer, Elliott Homes, offered to the community, to the city, and has followed through with that request, a fee per unit that ultimately would contribute to the construction of a new bridge at Porter and the Santa Rosa, which is probably the more immediate need, is to get that dry crossing at Porter and giving these residents the ability to go south in addition to north when such a situation occurs.
Right. Vice Mayor Farrell.
What's going on with Unit 2?
It's separate builder. To what we're being told is that they wanted to piggyback on this amendment request, but due to the nature of how fast this is going, they will probably come back at a later time to also do a similar request with a lot coverage increase. But they're not affiliated with Elliott Homes, separate builder.
Are all of these units improved lots?
1, 2, 3 is currently out there, constructed, and streets are alive, they're there.
But Unit 4 is not?
Unit 4 is not there.
I guess my issue here is that, I absolutely trying to see it from all sides. I'm trying to see it from the homeowners that are there now, homeowners that will be there in the future. I understand that the previous council had approved this. How many previous councils ago? We've been through a 5-year recession, a 4-year recession. So again, but I'm trying to conceptualize that. Again, this is why we're pushing so hard for the 347 grade separation, because it basically eliminates this whole problem for the most part. If the trains didn't stop, they're able to just go freely. Then it'd be a 5-minute wait, even on an emergency vehicle. But the issue in my mind becomes that if it's not until we get to 4 And it's not until we get to 400 other homes sold that we start doing improvements to these areas, then you have a lot of people in a public safety issue should there be a flood. And I appreciate the fact that you've made concessions to put this forward and actually contribute and participate in the signalization and the bridge and all those things. And I think that's a wonderful compromise. The problem that I see is that the compromise is at the end and not in the middle or even near the beginning. It's at the very end. And I mean the very end of when Unit 4 starts. And so, again, you've got some 400 homes in there that are subject to this potential emergency situation, and that's what concerns me. And so that's what I'm trying to justify in my own mind as I move forward on this decision.
Mr. Mayor? Oh, sorry.
Start with the Vice Mayor and then on to Councilwoman Chapados.
And Rudy, this might not be a question for you. It might be a question, I don't even know who the question is for, so staff, feel welcome to chime in if you've got an answer. But is there any way that we can't communicate with UP, and when they have to bring this train to a stop, do they have to stop it in front of a crossing? Why can't they stop that train before it comes to a crossing? And that could be easily mitigated just by communicating with them and asking them to please stop the dang train before they get to a crossing.
Vice Mayor, I'll actually answer that if that's okay, Bob. We've actually, both Bob and I talked about this almost 2 weeks ago, and when Congressman Gosar was here, I saw Zoe, what's Zoe's last name? Richmond from UPRR. She had gotten our message, and Bob has also communicated with the staff. They've told their engineers this almost 6 months ago, but occasionally an engineer gets through that they haven't, so they're going back and retraining their engineers so that they won't stop there. Because you're absolutely right, if they stop a quarter mile up the track a little bit, there's no conflict, it doesn't bring the hands down, and then it doesn't happen. So Zoe confirmed this, and then Bob had staff communication that they are working on that, and it hopefully should be alleviated. But in my email back to Ms. Miller earlier today, I told her to please let us know again if that happens so that we can immediately communicate that to UPR.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Chapados.
Yeah, just one question maybe for Bill. I'm not sure. With the issue that we've been talking about with the public safety and the other secondary access, does that bear any influence on the decision we're being asked to make tonight on our agenda item?
Through the mayor, Councilwoman Chapados, not literally the question we're being asked tonight. The plating we're talking about has already happened. If we were to vote no tonight, or if you were to vote no tonight, the developer could still pull permits and still build all of these houses. They would build them with smaller lot coverage, but they could do that right now.
Okay.
They're asking for a slightly different design, bigger houses, but the number of houses, the roads, all that stuff is already platted, that ship has already sailed.
Well, I want to also echo what the Vice Mayor and Mayor said too about the public safety concerns. Do we have any options as a city to expedite having that second entrance put connecting to Farrell?
Do we have actions as a city?
Options.
Options as a city. The city could come in and build as a CIP project.
Not necessarily city options, but do we have any options to expedite that? Whether it be us, the developer?
Well, if the developer comes in sooner, then yes, it would get done sooner. And we can meet with the developer, and I will talk with him after this meeting about whether or not we can expedite but that's a negotiation, expedite the low water crossing.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor Farrell.
Mayor, I have a recommendation for legal. Legal, I'd like to make a recommendation to take this into e-session, please.
I'd second that. So we have a motion and a second to move to e-session on this item. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We'll be back in a few minutes. I'd like to get the meeting started again. Thank you very much for your patience. I just had to get some consultation from legal. At this time, we're on item 10.1, the ordinance. And so, council, is there, what is your pleasure? Vice Mayor.
Mayor, I move that we table this item and further it to the December 17th City Council meeting.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. We have a second. Is there any further discussion on the item at this time? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. At this time, move to item 10.2, an ordinance of the Mayor and City Council of the City of Maricopa, Arizona, amending a short-form park rules in Chapter 18 of the Maricopa City Code relating to the park rules and regulations of the City of Maricopa, designating the short-form rules as Article 18-10 and providing for severability and the effective date thereof. This is for discussion and action. Please, Jennifer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight I bring before you an amendment to the ordinance for the park rules. A couple of the reasons that we are bringing this is there are some discrepancies in the department. In the old rules, we're referred to as the Parks, Recreation, and Library Department. We are actually the Community Services Department. We did have a city code change with the weapons, so we have a change on how weapons are allowed to be brought into the park, obviously not discharged. We also are removing the phone numbers from the ordinance. We will have phone numbers on the signs, but we don't want to put them in the ordinance in case they have to change. We wouldn't have to bring that back. As well, also too, with being part of the community fishing program, which is an IGA that you approved earlier this evening, the fishing is now going to be catch and keep at both Pecana and at Copper Sky. So we just wanted to update the rules to reflect the proper department name. We changed a couple verbiage. We don't call them pavilions, they're actually ramadas. Also removing some of the phone numbers and then updating our new fishing rules. So those are the amendments that we bring forth tonight. Other than that, most of the park rules changed and we didn't need to add any new ones. So we just wanted to update with all the correct information so that people are well informed out there when visiting both Pecana and Copper Sky.
Great, thank you. Council, any questions?
Jennifer, I just have one question. Catch and keep at both lakes?
It'll be catch and keep at both. Both Pecana Park and Copper Sky will be part of the community fishing program.
So is Game and Fish going to stock the Pecana Park one, or are we going to continue to do that?
Mayor, Councilmember Kimball, Game and Fish will be stocking both. Because one is a pond at Pecana, Pecana will get stocked 6 times a year, and Copper Sky will actually get stocked 26 times a year. That's part of it as well. And also with that, they're offering the educational programs and such, and they're helping with advertising and water quality, so we're very excited about this program.
Excellent, thank you.
Any other questions, Council?
Mr. Mayor.
I would accept the motion.
Move to approve.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? Yes. Oh, yeah. Need to move to a roll call, please.
Member Kimball?
Yes.
Member Potter?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Farrell?
Yes.
Councilmember Brown?
Yes.
Councilwoman Gussie? Yes. Councilmember Chakos?
Yes.
Mayor Prince?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for everybody participating tonight. We appreciate you being here. That concludes our agenda for this evening. Again, many thanks to all of the council and certainly all the participants in our festivities. And with that, can I have a motion to move to E-session, please?
So moved.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Trek up those stairs again?